Welcome to Psychology of the Daf. We are in Gemara Pesachim, Daf Chaf. So, the Gemara over here mentions a concept called Chibas HaKodesh. Literally, that means the affection for the holy. In a halachic sense, normally a food product needs to be willingly exposed to water or certain other liquids before it is deemed receptive to ritual purity. However, the principle of Chibas HaKodesh bestows a significance upon the sacrificial food and renders it on a level to accept ritual impurity. To explain this more, let us note that vessels or food need to have significance before they are able to accept impurity. That is why broken vessels or raw food not introduced to processing as defined by the willful exposure to certain liquids do not become impure. So the principle of Chibas HaKodesh, because it is so important and so significant, the sacrificial food, that even if it hasn't been processed, it's already considered receptive to impurity. Now, there is a beautiful mystical concept that Bnei Yisachar and Agur Dekala, Bereshis Rabbah Hey, explains, utilizing the term Chibas HaKodesh, but in a metaphoric way, to refer to the manner in which Hashem and the Jewish people overcome the impossible gap between his infinite presence and regular mortals. The Medrash Rabbah in Bereshis Hey describes a number of instances where God miraculously fit a large number of people into a small area. In one particular instance, the Medrash describes how when Yeshua was addressing the Jewish people, he brought them all near to stand between the poles of the ark. That is, the entire Jewish people was somehow able to miraculously fit between the poles of the ark. The Midrash says that this shows the love of Hashem for the Jewish people. Bnei Yisachar explains the notion of the impossibility of fitting into a confined space is also a metaphor for the way in which Hashem has to limit himself in order to make room for material reality. After all, the omnipotent encompasses all of existence, and so for us to exist, let alone exercise a sense of free will and intellectual function, we must be separate from him. This separation is the ultimate indicator of love, because it's Hashem's love that ironically allows for him to somehow pull back and make room for us. The Bnei Yisachar quotes an obviously metaphoric Agadah in Gemara Bava Metzia on Daf Pei Daled Amud Aleph. Over there, certain sages were described as so fat, so corpulent, that a disrespectful person was talking to one of them and wondered out loud, how is it possible for them to even have children? They could not be properly intimate with their wives. They were so obese. The response was, love can overcome and push back the flesh. Obviously, this is a metaphor. And the meaning is that when there is pure love, even Hashem can make space for humans that otherwise would be impossible. Now, most people think of love as merger. While there is some truth to that, it comes from a wish to join with the other. However, joining with another can also lead to obliteration of the other or of self, such as when a drop of water is absorbed by a giant ocean. God's greatest love is allowing us to exist and have free will as a separate identity. Parents and lovers must also learn to love by allowing the other to exist independently. Sometimes we wish that we could get the people we love to do what we want, but we miss the point, because the point is that if we love them, we would allow them sometimes to do what they want and to be themselves.